This blaster over here is almost the perfect blaster. Hello, what's up guys? I'm your host Gordon and welcome to another one of my video. And today what I got over here is a XYL Unicorn foamed up blaster. And this blaster over here is the very definition of a solid blaster. And holy moly, the amount of metal parts on this blaster is definitely incredible. I was being told that this is like a mid-range professional grade blaster. Yes, this blaster do require some installation. No worry guys, I got you covered. I'll be making a detailed installation of this blaster over here. So if you guys find the installation helpful, perhaps you can share it with your friends. But before that, I will have to thank Mac Potato for sending me the XYL Unicorn for today's review. Mac Potato is a local Malaysia online foamed up blaster seller who sells rare imported foamed up blaster, just like the XYL Unicorn over here. So if you guys are interested with one of these, all the necessary information will be provided in the description down below. In the box, we got the receiver, top part of the blaster, the buttstock, two Picatinny rails, a front priming grip, a top priming grip, an end strike buttstock adapter, a magazine, 10 darts, some O-rings and some hardwares, an extra spring, and a manual. To put the blaster together, at this point if you wanted to change the spring you can do so. Align the spring into the cylinder, slowly push in the top part and the bottom part of the blaster so that both parts align with the holes. Grab the shorter pin and push it in at the front bottom part of the blaster. And then grab the longer pin and push it in at the top back part of the blaster. To install the top Picatinny rail, you can choose between the moving version as well as the stationary version. And this is the moving version. You might want to grab two of these screws and screw down the rail on the top priming bar. Grab one of these orange washers, drop it into its designated spot and screw it tight. With that, you can put in a top priming handle. But if you wanted a reflex sight, you might want to swap it to a stationary rail. In order to do so, you will have to remove the moving rail and grab one of these orange cover and seal up the top opening just like so. And next you can put on the stationary rail and screw them tight. And now you can put in your reflex sight of choice. To put in the end strike buttstock adapter, just put it into the grip just like so, grab the included plastic lock and slowly push it into the hole to lock the adapter in place. To install the buttstock, press the button under the blaster and push the buttstock in just like so. To install the front grip, put in the nuts at its designated holes, align the screws, align the grip with the blaster and screw them in place. Put in the darts, put in the magazine, and this is how the blaster looks like with everything installed. Okay, first look at the blaster. As you can see, the aesthetic of the blaster is super compact. If you guys do not know the brand XYL, the brand XYL is pretty famous in the gel blaster world. More precisely, the XYL ARP9. And this blaster over here kind of looks like a little bit of the ARP9, just that the magazine over here is straight. And let us put that aside, the build quality of this blaster is magnificent. Seriously, this is probably the most solid blaster that I have ever held on hand. The entire blaster is made out of a combination of metal parts, aluminum, as well as some high density nylon over here. The weight of the blaster, surprisingly heavy, given that this blaster profile is pretty compact. If you guys take a look at the trigger guard, the mag release button, the rear iron sight, the safety switch, the barrel, the priming bar, the buttstock bar over here is all made out of some pretty high quality metal. And it is really thick. I mean, take a look at this buttstock over here. I mean, this 2 bars is really thick. And speaking about the buttstock, the blaster also comes with an adjustable buttstock over here. It has a 3-level adjustment over here. Shouldering the buttstock, it is actually pretty comfortable. You might require a little bit of sanding at the edge of the buttstock over here because it can be quite sharp. Seriously, that's just a little bit of nitpicking over there. The trigger is made out of metal and the trigger pull is very solid. The safety over here stops you from pulling the trigger. The grip of the blaster over here is pretty much of a standard AR size grip. And speaking about the grip, here comes the funny part. There is a end strike attachment point over here, which is of course detachable. Just in case you want to put in something like a end strike compatible buttstock, just in case. It looks kind of weird, but yep, it is doable. And not only that, there is a hole at the end strike adapter over here for you to put in the bottle, just in case you are into that kind of thing. But seriously, in my opinion, this end strike attachment thing over here kind of obstruct my gripping a little bit over here. You see, it keep hitting my wrist. It can be uncomfortable after a prolonged usage. So if you guys wanted to remove this over here, we just have to poke up a piece of plastic, And there you go. And now this is comfortable. The priming grip over here is an angle priming grip, and it is very comfortable to hold as well. On top of the blaster, it comes with two kind of Picatinny rail. One is the stationary Picatinny rail and one is the moving Picatinny rail. Did I just say moving Picatinny rail? Yes, the reason why the blaster comes with a moving Picatinny rail is because that you can actually install a grip on top of the blaster for top priming. But since I don't need top priming and I prioritize a reflex sight over here, I'm happy to just put in a stationary Picatinny rail. And that's the whole reason why this blaster have 3 priming bar instead of 2 priming bar. Of course, by looking into the blaster over here, we have of course a pair of priming bar on both left and right hand side of the blaster. And since this blaster included top priming, of course there is another priming bar at the top of the blaster, which makes this blaster having 3 priming bars, which makes the front priming extremely solid. You can be pretty brutal with it. Plus, the cool thing is that you can even peek through the top priming handle over here for your aiming. Now that's attention to details. On top of the blaster, it also comes with a pair of fiber optic iron sights. The front one is made out of nylon and the rear one is made out of metal. And here comes the cool part. This blaster, finally, this blaster is Talon compatible. Yes, let me grab myself a Talon mag over here. Oh yeah, smooth as butter. But there is a but. Since it is Talon compatible, you guys might actually think that, yay, I can use my Dart Zone magazine as well. No, don't be so happy yet. This blaster don't really support Dart Zone magazine, so it is just Talon compatible. But no worry guys, since most of us who are in this hobby have a lot of Talon mags, I don't see that too much of an issue. Maybe for a small group of people perhaps. Out of the box, the blaster also comes with 2 kind of spring, one weaker spring and one stronger spring. Of course, we are gonna go with the stronger spring, but no worries, in the test we will test both string with 3 kind of darts, which is the included Dragon Lookalike darts, the AF darts as well as the bamboo darts. And since we already primed the blaster, let us check out the air seal. Not the best air seal in the world, pretty much non-existent. More on that later after I disassemble the blaster. Yes, I'm gonna do it. Probably a simple O-ring swap will fix the problem. And let us check out if this blaster comes with slam fire. Yeah, this blaster comes with slam fire. Holy moly, this is epic. And now here comes the elephant in the room, the quick disassembly. As you can see, in order to disassemble the blaster, there is a 2-pin over here in which you have to open it up, just like so, and just wiggle it out. Yeah, just like so. And do remember to, you know, take out the magazine first. That's a mistake. And here you go, that's the spring. And take a look at the trigger box over here. The entire trigger box is made out of metal. Holy moly. And here we go. Here comes one of the culprit of the air seal over here. As you can see, the cylinder or the plunger, however you want to call it, is ported, which kind of acts like some sort of a air restrictor over here to fit with the shorter barrel over here. But man, I seriously hope that this blaster over here came with an unported cylinder. To reinstall the blaster, just align it with the cylinder over here, align it with the holes, put in the pins. Simple and easy. But sometimes it can be annoying with the pins wiggling around just like that. Some are okay with it, some are not. As we look at the bottom of the blaster over here, we can see the aluminum barrel over here as well as the return spring. I am a big fan of the return spring, which allows me to effortlessly push in the dart into the barrel. Oh yeah, and the barrel of the blaster is actually being held together by friction. Just in case in the future, if you guys want to swap it to a longer barrel, you got that option over there. And as you can see, the barrel is exposed over here for you to put in something like a scar barrel, which is very convenient. So yep, I guess that's all of the quirks and features of this blaster over here. So without further ado, let us go test the blaster out. Okay, we are back, guys. So after the testing, the result of the blaster over here is actually kind of surprising in a way though. By using the weaker spring, and of course by using the included Dragon Darts Lookalike, this blaster can shoot from 137 FPS all the way to 144 FPS. More of a mid-range result. And here comes the confusing one though. If we actually use the AF darts, the blaster can only shoot from 102 FPS all the way to only 115 FPS. That is definitely not a pretty good number. But if we actually switch it to bamboo darts, the blaster can go from 141 FPS all the way to 158 FPS, which is of course a pretty standard number for a mid-range professional grade blaster, which means that this blaster over here does not really like thick, girthy darts, but the accuracy in 8 to 10 meters is actually pretty good. And what about the strongest spring? With the strongest spring and using the included Dragon Darts Lookalike, the blaster can actually shoots from 184 FPS all the way to 191 FPS, and that is the result that we are looking for. But if you guys use the AF darts, the blaster can shoot from 145 FPS all the way to 165 FPS. Pretty mid-range result that I would say. But if we actually use the bamboo darts, the blaster can actually shoot from 184 FPS, which is an outlier, all the way to 211 FPS. Yes, finally we are exceeding 200 FPS with the bamboo darts. And I like that number. And of course, as usual, shooting a target in 10 meters is definitely not an issue at all. The accuracy is of course pretty good. And most importantly, operating this blaster, I did not encounter any jams. The slam fire works perfectly. The priming is very solid. I can go pretty brutal with this priming over here. Really like the trigger pull thanks to the full metal trigger box. Put the reflex sight aside, the included fiber optic sight is actually pretty accurate as well. And of course, most importantly, will this blaster passes the wall test? Guys, of course, this blaster passes the wall test with flying colors. Take a look at the design of this blaster, man. It looks perfect in every way you look at it. Really big fan of the color scheme over here. The only main complaints that I have that prevents this blaster from being the perfect blaster, which is this blaster is Talon compatible. It is a good thing. Sadly, you can't really use one of your existing Dart Zone magazine. And of course, definitely not a big fan of the ported cylinder over here. The O-rings need some work done. Might need a little bit sanding on the edge of the buttstock over here. But other than that, I'm pretty satisfied with the blaster. So that's all for today, guys. If you guys like this video, feel free to smash the like button. I'll be posting video on Saturday and once in a while on Wednesday, so do remember to click on the subscribe button as well as the notification bell. So yep, go ahead and check it out, and I'm going to see you guys in the next video. Adios, guys!